Hey guys, Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we are going to be showing off the Golden Boys themselves, the Golden Form brothers, Cooler and Frieza. Oh, we're going to start off with them actually on rotation. That makes a nice change for a showcase. So, I'm going to break this down into two separate bits for a couple of reasons, which I'll start to go through. So, obviously Golden Cooler, the way his passive is designed, he doesn't really get his full potential unless you use him on a team that has 3 other Dragon Ball Heroes allies. That gives him the additional attack and defense 30%, and then the automatic additional that has a medium chance to become a super attack. So he obviously works best on a team where he has Heroes allies. So in order to be able to run him alongside Golden Frieza and still have 3 Heroes allies, we are running him on the Transformation Boost team at the moment. And we got the additional was a normal, and then the hidden potential one kicked in as well. So he does stack attack, unfortunately not defense, but he stacks attack, which means the longer the event goes on, the harder he's going to hit. So this is kind of like a meme sort of gimmick team, really, because they don't really share a lot of links. Like, you'd be surprised. You kind of think that they would go really well together, but I think maybe because the Golden Frieza is based around the Resurrection of F movie and not anything from Super, so he has links like Resurrection F, Super God Combat. The only links they actually share is Universe Most Malevolent for 15% attack and Strongest Clan in Space for 2 keys. So at least those links actually make them like manageable to work together, because they're at least giving themselves some key and then a little bit of attack. And then the other downside overall is that by having to run all these Heroes units, we don't really have a lot of support units on the team that actually can boost attack. Like this Kid Buu with Barbody Absorb, for example, he only boosts defense unless you're under a certain amount of HP. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put Cooler in the first slot, because otherwise Frieza would take him out. He should tank for... Okay, let's see how much he tanks a super for. Okay, yeah, 58. That's not too bad. So up to 1.3 million already, which is pretty decent considering that one attack link being active. And then my Golden Cooler is 79%. So he has 2 dupes. He has the important star abilities unlocked, and that's what is important. So we'll probably go ahead and give him, what, maybe another couple of turns just to see if we can... I want to see us get that attack stat to 2 mil. And then what I'm going to do is, like I said at the start, where I'm going to break this down into 3 separate parts. So what I'm going to do is... Sorry, 2 separate parts. Once we've done this, I'm going to then jump over to the actual Wicked Bloodline team. So on that scenario, he's not going to have the Heroes allies, but obviously with the AGL Metal Cooler, he has a slightly higher leader skill, and then we have access to some actual attack boosting support units. So we can maybe see which of these will provide the higher numbers, because obviously he's going to have a slightly higher attack leader skill. There might be some other links shared around, especially with other Cooler units, but he is going to be missing out on that 30% buff from his own passive, so it'll be interesting to see what we can get him up to after the same number of attacks. So I'll go ahead and put him in the front again. Let's grab these, and then I guess we'll give you this one. Oh, well, there's the good old level 3 dodge coming in. So we're up to 1.4 on the attack stat now. Can we get at least one more super this turn? Hey, there we go. So straight up to 1.5. So we're slowly but surely building up. I don't know if we will actually be able to get to 2 million before too many turns have passed. But there's that hidden potential one coming in again, jumping straight up to 1.6. So we seem to be going up by about 100,000 per super. So a couple more, and we will get to 2 mil. But I think it's pretty safe to say he is a solid unit on this team. Obviously, this team not the best, because trying to balance, you know, units that were Dragon Ball Heroes allies, as well as being in the transformation boost category. Not the best, so it's not really, it's definitely not the best team for Golden Frieza to be run on, but obviously Golden Frieza with his Easy A is quite the beast, so he's more than capable of holding his own on the event anyway with this team, even though it's not really geared around him. So we'll get off this one final attack with Golden Cooler against Piccolo, because I don't want the video to be too long. I mean, we would need, even if we got 3 supers, I don't think we'll quite get to 2 million on this team. So it'll be interesting to see if we can actually hit that on the Wicked Bloodline team. So go ahead and do this, and then give you those as well. Because that's the other thing as well in terms of their links, is obviously Golden Cooler is a Shattering the Limit unit, whereas Frieza is a Fierce Battle unit. So we go up to 1.7, that's not too bad. A few turns in, it's quite clear that obviously we would be able to break the 2 million attack stat, and potentially more in longer events like this. So let's go ahead and jump over to the Wicked Bloodline team. Okay, so here we are on Boss Rush in the Boo event. As you can see, we're not quite at the very start, because typically the game didn't help me out with the starting rotations, and I could only find one AGL Metal Cooler friend, so I didn't want to duck out and duck back in only to not be able to find one. So obviously we got the double AGL Metal Cooler leads. I've brought a couple of support units, like we obviously have this Frieza on the rotation right now, who gives 2 key and attack and defense 25%. We also have the STR, one of the free-to-play Metal Coolers. He's going to give us 15% attack and defense. And then I also brought the good old-fashioned Final Form Cooler. Funnily enough, this Golden Cooler doesn't link super well with everyone on the team anyway. Just due to having links like Cold Judgment, Brainiacs, Rival Duo, like they're not very common on the Frieza Clan team. And of course there's the hidden potential I gave him. I gave him a little bit more additional since he does infinitely stack his attack. So let's go ahead here and see what we can get up to. This is probably his best rotation, but obviously since he stacks his attack, we know we are going to be able to get his attack stack to go higher. But this is pretty much straight off the bat. He's only super attacked once up until this point, so let's see what sort of numbers we're going to get out of him. Yeah, you go ahead and super attack Golden Frieza for double digit damage. That's perfectly fine, Boo. So let's see what we can get up to with Cooler here on his. I think this is his second super on his best rotation. Yeah, see 1.3. So the numbers are looking around the same from the previous team. It's just obviously that overall, like, this team is definitely better. Like, it's more cohesive. Obviously, you noticed on that other team we had to bring units like the free-to-play Arms and like the Barba the Absorbed Kid Buu, just because they're the only Heroes units that are on the Transformation Boost category. So we had to bring them in order to trigger Golden Cooler's passive. It is kind of a shame. I'm a little bit disappointed that Golden Cooler wasn't designed with the Wicked Bloodline team in mind. But there you go, it is what it is. So let's quickly get through this rotation. So that means I think we're gonna have the STR Metal Cooler on rotation. So only a 15% buff from him, but we have raised our attack previously, so I imagine we're probably going to see around the same numbers again. I might just go on this one. We'll go until we get the GT Frieza back on rotation with them, because he'll have got to super attack a couple more times, and then with his attack being raised and then that Frieza back on the rotation, that will be the best rotation that we'll see out of him in terms of his attack stats. So okay, super attack the one that has type advantage, that's perfectly fine. 9,000. Man, I'm so hyped for STR Cooler to come out. I've mentioned this enough times on the channel, but I'm going to be going ham on that banner, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so we've got 15% attack and defense now. Let's go ahead and put... oh, he's only healing in the first slot, so we'll put Cooler there. He goes. He goes. Might as well grab some HP while we're at it. yeah, 1.5 almost, so we're getting there. Obviously the major difference is because there's no guaranteed additional, but there you go. The hidden potential system just comes through again. We've been quite lucky in the video so far, but it obviously means there is no potential for triple super attacks because he just does not get that guaranteed extra additional attack that can become a super, and then of course the 30% attack and defense. Like if they'd geared him so that he had Wicked Bloodline allies, I realised that would obviously make him less useful on the Heroes team, but that would have made him such a great card for the Wicked Bloodline team. Because one thing let's not forget as well, actually I haven't really gone over, is the other part of Golden Cooler's passive, as well as giving himself 100% attack and defense, he gives all allies Ki +2 and attack and defense 20%. Which kind of like, it helps massively with the fact that he doesn't link super well with Golden Frieza, because he's giving him a bunch of Ki and attack and defense from his own support passive anyway, so that helps to work out. So because he's not getting his full passive to make him as offensively viable as he could be, on the Wicked Bloodline team I think he really takes that slot as a support unit. Because as you see here with the units that we had to bring as supports, you can't bring the Int Metal Cooler because he has the same name as the leader. So we've got the GT Frieza, and then that STR free-to-play Metal Cooler, only 15% attack and defense, not really the best kind of support unit. Whereas, yeah, this guy gives 20%, and as we've seen on this team, even without having that extra part of his passive, he's still able to put out very decent numbers. So honestly, my overall sort of like verdict, I guess if you want to call it that, is that this Golden Cooler, he will definitely be a mainstay now on my Wicked Bloodline team, but he will be a third slot floating support unit, because that is basically what his best role is on this particular team. So are we going to actually, can we actually get the Dokkan attack this turn? I hope so, because obviously in this particular video we definitely want to be getting it with Cooler. There you go. Alright, so no support on the rotation, but let's see what we can do here. We might actually finish off Boo, but that went a little bit slower than I was expecting. It actually threw me off a little bit, but let's see. Yeah, see, his attack stat only just under 1.5. I mean, still good for a non-fierce battle unit with 2 dupes. He definitely is good. He's obviously one of the better like featured units on the Heroes banner. I'm glad I did at least manage to pull a couple of copies of him. And I mean, look at that. He took 12 damage from Boo. Obviously, super attack, that's going to hurt a little bit more. 60k, though. That's really not too bad at all. So, not too shabby from Golden Cooler. So, I think we might, just because of the AGL Metal Cooler, I think we will finish him off this turn. But yeah, Golden Cooler and Golden Frieza together. It's a fun little combo to run. Not the most optimal, but you know, it's all just for a bit of fun. And yeah, he's although he survived this turn, I think even if it's possible for us to avoid supers with everyone this turn, then he might live. But okay, so I think, yeah, so we can do that, and then do that. So let's see if he survives this turn, then we get one last shot with Golden Cooler on his best rotation, because we're gonna have the, oh well, there you go, never mind. The Metal Cooler wants to show off. He's jealous that there's no Golden Metal Cooler in the game yet, but I imagine that will come with the next lot of heroes, who knows. So there you go, that is the Golden Brothers of Destruction, Golden Frieza and Golden Cooler together on a couple of different teams, just trying out their viability. They do work well together. It is like a little bit of fun for a team idea. Obviously not the most optimal thing in the world, but you know, a lot of fun. And since they're on this rotation with the Frieza again, finally, we might as well let them go off here, and then we will end the video. So getting them to attack themselves. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. Those links are in the description below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.